Legend Total War here, and today we're going to be looking over the patch notes for Total War Warhammer 3, which this is the first actual gameplay patch for Total War Warhammer 3, because in early access the game has not actually changed at all up until now. You guys are currently essentially playing the open beta of Total War Warhammer 3, but here comes the patch. It's going to be coming in sometime in April, and it seems like it's going to be a kind of a big patch. There's a lot of things changing. Mechanically speaking, not much. It's mostly just numbers being moved around, database changes, which is good because a lot of that stuff did need to happen. But yeah, what I'm going to be focusing on in this video here is the Realm of Chaos stuff and some of the stuff down here. I'm not going to be focusing on faction balance with... This is essentially multiplayer stuff, and that's cool if you're interested in that kind of stuff. I just don't really have any opinion one way or another about this, because when units gain... Like, if somebody asked me, what do you think about this unit gaining 2 melee defense or 100 extra upkeep costs? I couldn't care less about it. You know, it doesn't really matter on the campaign map. The pendulum swings one way or another, and you just make do. Most of the time with minor tweaks like that, it usually doesn't matter, because on campaign, not multiplayer, the utility of a unit is actually more important, and the upkeep cost of that unit is more important than the actual stats of it. And sometimes low stat units with high utility is more important than like units just with loads of stats. In fact, there's oftentimes lots of units that just have really high stats that are quite frankly trash just because their utility is quite low, just as an example. So yeah, this kind of stuff here is good for multiplayer, but just I'm not invested in that at all. Okay, so Realm of Chaos stuff. This is obviously where I got super angry at Creative Assembly about. This is the hill that I chose to die on, which I haven't died, but it's just a saying. This is where I really wanted to take the fight to them. Even from day one playing Total War Warhammer 3, as in day one for me was January 11th of earlier this year. Right from day one, I was taking Creative Assembly to task about the Realm of Chaos, trying to provide some feedback and get them to change course on the Realm of Chaos. And it's good that some degree of changing course is happening, you know, nearly 3 months later. Now, I did a poll yesterday, which I wanted to show you guys, which 74,000 votes so far. Just I do like to get some information from you guys about why you did or didn't play, because don't forget, I'm still invested into Warhammer 3. I'm still on the bus, right? To Warhammer 3. I'm going to use the bus analogy a fair bit. You'll see why. I'll give a better example of that later. But anyway, I'm still invested in Warhammer 3. I haven't given up on it yet. I have stopped live streaming Warhammer 3 for now. That's because the live streams were, you know, mostly just me ranting, so I had to stop that. But videos have been okay. Not amazing, but the actual content in the videos I've been enjoying making, so that's good. Anyway. Warhammer 3 turns 1 month old today. Well, that was like yesterday or the day before. And of the initial player base, 90% have moved on to other things. Now, what that means there by nearly 90%, this is just going off Steam stats. I can't talk about Epic stats or Games Pass because I just don't have those figures. But I do have the figures for Steam concurrent players, right? So Warhammer 3 launched at 166-ish thousand players concurrently and maintained that roughly for a couple of days until it freaking plummeted into nothingness. And currently, over the past few days, it has been between 10,000 and 20,000 concurrents. It dipped below 10,000, which hasn't happened for a recently released Total War game to go below 10,000 concurrents at any point since like Thrones of Britannia or Rome Remastered, which I don't know if those really count, but even Warhammer 2, it took like 4 months or whatever to get down to 10,000 concurrents. And Warhammer 2 launched at like 70,000 players. Now, a lot of people will say, but Elden Ring came out, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But whatever the case is, whatever you want to blame the reason on, nearly 90% of the player base has dropped off. Now, given the same amount of time with like Three Kingdoms and Troy and that kind of stuff, it's usually around the 50 to 70% that drop off. 90% was like Thrones of Britannia level like drop off. That's really bad. Like Thrones of Britannia died in the absolute arse. Anyway, So here are the reasons that you guys gave for, the thing is with these polls, I can only give 5 options. So these are just the 5 best ones, and you can only ever pick one. It's just the polling system from YouTube. I can't change that. But anyway, 7% of you guys say that the optimization sucked. 19% of you guys say the Chaos Realm Rift sucked. Now, of course, it could be multiple of these reasons, but hopefully you chose the primary reason. Now, if I had to vote, I would have been putting my vote under Chaos Realm Rift sucked. So I would have been under the 20% area. 16% of you guys said Elden Ring, or any other game that came out this year, which was actually a lot lower than I thought it was going to be. I think that with a lot of people, that a lot of people did just start playing Elden Ring, but they started playing Elden Ring because Warhammer 3 was shit. It's not that Warhammer 3 was shit, but the launch was shit. And that maybe they wouldn't have if it hadn't been so bad. Don't know. But that's just the figures I've got here. And then 49% of you guys were waiting for Mortal Empire's mod support. Maybe many people who voted here actually haven't purchased the game yet, and that's totally fine. But yeah, a large portion of people waiting for this stuff here. And mod support is coming with this current patch. That's coming up soon. So that's good. That's one element of it. And then of the people that voted, 74,000, 9% of you guys are still playing Warhammer 3 on a regular basis. Now, my channel here only has Warhammer 3 content. I haven't been releasing any other gameplay videos since Warhammer 2, which was more than a month ago we started playing Warhammer 2, right? Only 9% of the people that are watching my channel actually play the game that I'm producing content for. That was a punch in the dick with that one. It's not good. But I'm glad that you guys are still watching my videos, but the fact that only like 10% of you guys actually play the game at the moment, it's not good. It's not a good sign. But anyway, those are some stuff based on this. And I'm sure if other YouTubers did an exact same poll, they would get differing results. But this is the results based on my audience. So I have to... Look, I don't care about other people's audience. I only care about my own audience, okay? So those are the people I care about, all right? Okay, so... talking about the Realm of Chaos stuff, so there's some big changes coming through here. Most of it's pretty good. Anyway, so the Realm of Chaos has been one of the most prevalent discussion points among the community, and we're using this update to implement several bugs and fixes and gameplay tweaks, change how to fit in the mechanics into the game. This includes several key changes. The strength of the negative realm traits has been reduced by roughly 50%. Okay, so here's the thing of what I think about the negative realm traits. They suck mechanically wise because it's anti-player fake difficulty bullshit, right? Because the AI doesn't play by the same rules as you. The AI, doesn't matter which AI, it could be Katarin, Kugath, whatever. It's under AI control. They never get negative realm traits. Only the player gets them. So the more punishing this mechanic is, the more fake difficulty this is. Now, the thing is, keep in mind, is that this is applied on all difficulties. Easy to legendary, the AI doesn't suffer from this. So reducing this by 50% is fine, but really what you should be doing to make the game a little bit less crap, the Realm of Chaos a little bit less crap, is that the AI should also suffer the same damn penalties. Make the AI play the same fucking game that we're playing. So really reduce that to 0%, as in reduce it completely, get rid of it entirely. But I think that they should make it so the AI, or double the penalty, but make it so the AI suffers from it as well. Otherwise, it's just a bad mechanic to have that in there. So it's never going to get any praise from me. But whatever. I'm glad it's being reduced, but really it should be reduced further. But whatever, because they're very punishing. Demon legendary lords will no longer be burdened by the negative traits of their respective patron god. Yep. This makes perfect sense, and I don't know why they didn't do this on launch, or even before launch. I don't know when they were designing this. Apparently this game's been in development for a while. They're playing as Kara's Fate Weaver and being like, I'm in the realm of Tzeentch, and I have Tzeentch sickness. This makes sense. It just feels off, like that would happen. And same thing with, like, Kugath and Nakari. You could kind of argue it for Scarbrand, since he's exiled from his own realm, but he's exiled from that realm. That doesn't mean he's not comfortable in that realm. That's where he thrives. And if you use Scarbrand in that realm, he gets through that realm really quickly because he's an absolute beast in there, provided you actually bring a decent army. But yeah, this really should have been there in launch. So it's good that it's getting done now, but yeah, whatever. Traits gained in the Realm of Chaos will now be removed when a Legendary Lord completes the survival battle within that realm. That's cool, but, you know, the same sort of thing as this. All they're doing here is just, reducing the amount of fake difficulty. And what I really mean by fake difficulty is, like, there's difficulty where the game gets harder because the AI is actually being more competent against you, right? Like if they're being more aggressive or whatever. And then there's fake difficulty where the game throws bullshit at you, such as dilemmas and things that the AI doesn't have to deal with. Like, for example, in Rome 2, politics. The AI factions don't deal with politics. It's just fake difficulty garbage that you have to deal with on all difficulties, because it's just a hurdle that's not fun. So this is really a big thing that Creative Assembly need to learn. Whenever they're making a mechanic, they need to, ask themselves, is this mechanic fun, or are you making this to piss off the player? Because this one here, this trait, that's just there to piss off the player. That's, from a fun perspective, that just shouldn't be implemented. If you're talking about balance point of view, it has to apply to the AI as well. So yeah, this is good that it's being removed if you complete a survival battle, but at the same time, the mechanic itself is bullshit, but whatever. When a player intercepts the AI Lord at the Forge of Souls, their souls will now be lost, forcing them to restart their collection. This should make it easier to disrupt the Souls race. Yep, this is good. This is a good thing. Pretty much in line with, similar to in line with how it works in the Vortex campaign, whereas if you intercept them, which in the Vortex campaign you just teleport to the battle, whereas this one you've got to actually wait there for them, because if they get there before you do, they can just win the battle instantly, essentially. So you've got to get there before them and just wait for them. But yeah, they lose all of their souls, so they have to take another minimum 120 turns, because the minimum amount of time it takes to collect 4 souls. Now, the thing is, in the Vortex campaign, if you beat somebody that was at the end of their final battle, it would actually just knock them out of the race completely. And there was only 4 participants, so 3 other participants, whereas in the Realm of Chaos, there's 7 other participants. So this kind of stuff happens a lot more, and the AI is pretty damn quick to get that shit sorted a lot of the time. So yeah, this is definitely a good step in the right direction. Now, really, all of these are a good step in the right direction. My problem is just going to be I really feel like all of this stuff should have been there in launch, and so I'm not going to pat them on the back for stuff that is, I think, pretty easy to implement. This stuff is database changes. This isn't mechanical changes, which I'll get into in a little bit. This is something that a modder could have done in an afternoon, and we've had to wait months for it. It just doesn't make sense, and so, you know, time is important. You can't be wasting people's time with this crap. Anyway, this one here is good. The protection building chain can now be used to prevent rifts from spawning in the province in which they're built. This is good. So this is like the anti-Skaven Under Empire building, which previously, has not been a very useful building most of the time, but now seems like it'll be essential to have one in every province, especially in the late campaign. So just having one in a province can essentially make it a lot easier to manage the rifts. So you don't need to have one in every region, just one in the province. And currently the way to deal with late game rift problems, if you're going wide, which I like to, like conquering a big empire, just have heroes stationed in every province, which increase your upkeep costs, right? And then just close the rift using the agent action, which again costs money, whereas this building here doesn't cost any money to upkeep, so you just don't have to pay a agent. You can have the agent in your army instead, which is what would be much more preferred, and not pay that 1,500 every 30 turns or whatever. And there should be a place for this building within every province for every faction. Probably the biggest trouble will be for the ogres, since they don't build anything beyond tier 3. So they don't have a lot of build slots, but they should be able to manage with that anyway. Okay, the rewards for gaining souls have been improved by providing additional bonuses for a limited period of time. Okay, so this is very deceptively worded, I think. The rewards for gaining souls have been improved. That implies that there was rewards to begin with. One of the problems with... Okay, here are the 2 big problems to the Realm of Chaos. One, mechanically speaking, it's just not fun, right? It's just a poorly designed mechanic. It's just not fun to participate. And the second thing is that it's not rewarding in the slightest. So sometimes it's okay to put in. Basically, you can have one of the two. You can have something be not fun or not rewarding, but you can't have both, right? So if it's something that's not fun to engage with but is rewarding, that in turn incentivizes people to do it. That's a lot of games have this kind of stuff where there's like a really annoying fucking dungeon or whatever, but at the end of the dungeon there's like a really cool sword, something like that. That's how you get away with it. Or there's a really, really fun mini game, but it's got no reward. That's fine. If the mechanic itself is fun, then you don't need a reward. But you can't have both. You can't have it be not fun and also not rewarding, right? So currently, based on this stuff here, they're not changing how it is mechanically, so it's still not fun. But they're trying to add in some rewards now. So currently, there are no rewards for getting a soul. Absolutely none. You just progress the narrative. That's not a reward, right? Because it actually makes the game more difficult because the stuff that comes through the rifts gets more powerful as you progress through it. But whereas if you don't progress through it, it actually doesn't get more powerful unless the AI gets to 4 souls, and it does. Anyway. Now, Creative Assembly did actually send me some patch notes about 2 weeks ago with some of this information already in it. I can't really go into detail about the specific things that were on here because I don't know what NDA or whatever, what I can or can't talk about. You know, it was sent in private. But from what because this isn't telling you what the additional bonuses, it just says you get bonuses, right? But from what they showed me, these bonuses were shit. They were for a very short amount of time, for very small bonuses, very low impact. And I basically told them, look, if you want me to do the Realm of Souls, you've either got to make the Realms of Souls fun, which it's not, or you got to provide some big old bonuses for me, which these will not. So it doesn't incentivize. Well, they may have changed it, but based on what I saw, it didn't incentivize it. So, yeah, because the rewards for getting souls, if this is what it is, won't incentivize me to do it, and the current end game reward is also not much of an incentive. But whatever. Overall, these are good changes. I know I'm being very critical about all this stuff, but you got to keep in mind that this stuff here is all very easy to implement. Modders can do it very quickly. This is not difficult. If this had been done day 1, day 2, within the first week, I'd be a bit happier about it. Really, essentially, this should have been done before launch. Which is why I'm not really being very like, yay, Creative Assembly, good on you. You redeemed yourself 100%. Absolutely not. You know, this stuff is too little too late. You've got to go a lot further. There are mechanical changes that need to be addressed. What is being done about the Realm of Tzeentch? You can't just leave that shit the way it is. It's fucked. Okay, so those of you who don't know, the Realm of Tzeentch is fucking disgusting, right? The way that it's implemented. If you understand exactly how it works, you'd be like angry about it, okay? Because it's just like, fuck you to the player. This is how it works, okay? You go into the Realm of Tzeentch, and by the way, the Realm of Tzeentch is really the only one that does this. The other realms are kind of okay. Okay, you go into the Realm of Tzeentch, okay, and let's just say another faction goes into the Realm of Tzeentch at the same time as you, an AI faction, right? And your task is to guess which portal to go through constantly to get to the right one. Now, if you guess it all perfectly, the minimum amount of time that it can take you to get to what's it called? The Impossible Fortress is 4 turns. That's the minimum amount of times. That's if you guess the right one, right? Now, here's the thing. The AI, they're on a closed loop. If you go into the same portal as them, you don't actually end up in the same place. The AI factions all have a closed loop. They just go around and around, right? But they don't have to guess the right portal. They just need to go through any portal. They just need to go through a portal 5 times. Once they've gone through a portal 5 times, on the 5th time, they end up at the Impossible Fortress, meaning they have 100% chance of getting the right portal. They know the right way. All they have to do is just go through whichever ones. So yeah, the AI cheats like nothing else in the Realm of Tzeentch, because you as the player have so few tools to deal with that, because if they're on a different island to you, you can't intercept them. You can't just kick them out of the realm, right? And you could jump into a particular portal, and neither one of those portals will direct you to where the AI is or where they're going to be. And it's possible that you might not be possible to actually intercept them, meaning it might be possible from the very get-go that it's impossible for you to actually get to the impossible fortress before the AI. And if there is a key narrative mechanic in the game in which the player is given an impossible task, that is fucked. And that's what happens in the Realm of Tzeentch. So basically, if you want to do the Realm of Tzeentch, you should always try to make sure that you're the only one in the Realm of Tzeentch. That way you can take your time. So by that, if you jump into the Realm of Tzeentch and somebody else jumps into the Realm of Tzeentch, just get the fuck out of there. Just be like, just go do something else. Just go do a different one and try to get in there next time. Wait until everybody else has got their damn Tzeentch soul, so they're not going to go in it again. Because fuck that realm, that mechanically needs to change. Anyway, so other stuff here, moving on from the Realm of Chaos. Supply lines. A prevalent issue reported by the community, a fix to address the bug, the supply line bugs. Yeah, that needs to be fixed, and I'm glad they're doing it. Look, I can forgive that one. It's a bad bug, for sure. It's probably the worst bug in Warhammer 3, but I can forgive it, and I'm glad they're getting to it. Then there's various other bugs. There's Alt-Tab Crash, Gift to Slanesh. Yeah, we covered that one in early access. That was a bit of a tricky one to figure out, but bit silly, but I'm glad that's getting fixed. I'm not too angry about that one. Prologue sticks after Battle of Fort Dervengard. Yeah, that's good that these ones are getting fixed. The Prologue campaign is very good, by the way. Crash fixes. Several crashes have been implemented. Yeah, okay, so crash fixes are good. I've had a few crashes. Shadow Shroud. Okay, so this is worthless information. So Be'lakor's ability Shadow Shroud is now associated with his unique trait. Okay, so currently Be'lakor doesn't have a unique trait. So he's going to get a unique trait, but that unique trait is just going to move one of his skills that he currently has to the trait. So it's not an upgrade, it's not a downgrade, it's a side grade. I guess now you don't have to spend 1 point to get it. I mean, he does start with 20 skill points, and he has one of the most bland skill trees that you can get in Total War Warhammer. So it's not like that would have been a problem to get it in the first place. So this here has absolutely zero impact. Introducing this is a waste of time. It's like this. It's like the equivalent of like, my office is looking pretty untidy, and there's a box sitting in the corner. I'm going to move this box from this corner to the corner over there. Awesome, I fixed it. No, you haven't changed. You haven't addressed the issue with this. The issue with Be'lakor is not that he's weak. He's not weak, but that he's boring. Be'lakor has no unique equipment, no unique trait, and looks like the trait's just going to be uninteresting anyway. He has no red line skills. He has no global bonuses. Considering he is the campaign reward for possibly the most annoying campaign that Creative Assembly has ever produced, it feels like an unfinished character. Like, you just need to finish making him to be on par with other legendary lords. Just give him some attention. Like, he needs some unique equipment. He needs a trait, an actual good trait. And he needs, like, global bonuses or something. Otherwise, he's just a demon. And, whatever. Anyway, so Corrupted by factions. Okay, Corrupted by. Factions will now be able to remove negative corrupted traits when in a region dominated by their favored corruption. This is a good one. Really should have been there from launch, but this one, I can kind of understand why. So, I'll explain a little bit. The Corrupted by trait doesn't mean the Realm of Chaos trait. This is where, if you're playing as Tzeentch, for example, you go into a Nurgle region, and you suck up Corrupted by Nurgle. You're reducing your replenishment rate, right? You can't just sit in your capital and make it go away, especially if you've got high Tzeentch corruption. In order to currently get rid of those traits, you have to go into untainted regions, which if you're playing as a demon, is unlikely because most of the time you're conquering territory and you're getting your corruption up pretty quickly. Not to say that it's currently not possible to remove it, but at least now you can go into a region that's dominated by your corruption and it will get rid of the Corrupted by Nurgle trait or whichever. Currently the Nurgle trait's the worst one. The best one's kind of like Khorne. It's like Khorne actually gives you extra weapon strength. It's pretty useful. But anyway. Alternatively, if you get corrupted by vampire accounts, I believe that gives you extra replenishment rate. So if you're playing as Tzeentch, you may want to do that because they have currently the worst replenishment rate in the game. But anyway. So achievement issues, yeah, whatever. Watch my achievement guide if you want to learn how to cheese all the achievements. But that's not really a big deal. So this is by no means a complete list. So there's more stuff that's going to happen, and that's good. I have, in the information that was sent to me, there was one other thing. But since they didn't list it here, I won't mention it here. I don't think it is a big deal, but it is something. But yeah, there from what they said to me, there's more stuff coming. So that's good, that's good. But yeah, I want to explain what I meant by being on the bus, okay? It might make my rant that went around a bit make a little bit more sense, and why all of a sudden, like, because this is what my perspective from how people saw it. What happened? I was playing in early access and everything was okay. Legend of Total War, he's just playing the game and he's having fun, and then all of a sudden the game launches, and then only then did I have a problem with the game. Now that is from public like appearances, yes, it definitely looks like that. Unfortunately, there is a lot of things that happen behind the scenes that just would greater explain it. Okay, so I'll use a bit of an analogy here. When we get early access, we are on a bus, and all of the creators, we're on the bus together, and Creative Assembly is driving the bus, and the bus is Warhammer 3, okay? And all of us were screaming at Creative Assembly that, hey, you're about to crash. Stop, turn, you're about to crash, Now, the thing is, up until that point, it hadn't crashed yet, but we saw the crash coming. And so we were all frantically telling Creative Assembly, you gotta fix this before launch, you gotta fix this before launch, you gotta fix this before launch, Please make these changes, you can't let the game launch like this. All the way up until the 17th, and then the bus driver, Creative Assembly, is like, nah, it's all good, this is how we're gonna launch the game. And the game launches, and it fucking crashes hard, big time, big old crash. And the funny thing is that I'm on the bus when it crashes, and I'm probably at the front of the bus, which meant I go straight through the bloody windshield and land on the bloody dirt on the side of the road or whatever. So it just hurt me a lot to be on the bus when it crashed, which is why I ranted. Now, I feel like we're all on a different bus, and that bus isn't going to crash a second time, but Creative Assembly is still driving the bus, and I'm on the bus again. I've got a bloody nose and broken everything, but I'm still on the bus. I got back on the bus. Some people got off the bus. Early access was over. Bye-bye, I'm off the bus. Yep, thanks for crashing the bus into the bridge. I'm off the bus. Me personally, I'm still on the fucking bus, right? Now, Creative Assembly is still driving the bus, but it feels like they're asleep at the wheel. That they're just not driving this bus anywhere. This is so slow. We're just not getting to the destination that we need to get to in any meaningful amount of time. And the thing is, the longer this goes on, more people are just getting off the bus. So that's the analogy that I'm using. I hope that makes a bit of sense. And it also might make it a bit clearer why I got so angry. Because, like I said, I went through the friggin' windshield when the game launched. I got through the ringer. It was not good. Probably one of the most unenjoyable experiences of my life. So, yeah, that's why I got so angry and why I had to take a step away from live streaming. Because yeah, I had to essentially recover from my mental injuries. Anyway, I've since recovered now. I've had some time to rest. Everything's all good. But anyway, a lot of people are asking, when am I returning to live streams? I did say that I wasn't going to live stream anymore until Warhammer 3 got either a patch or Mortal Empires came out. Now, it doesn't look like Mortal Empires is coming for like 2 or 3 more months, because a lot of the way this is written sort of indicates that Warhammer like extra content has been delayed. But these changes here do make me want to give it another try. So when this patch goes live, I do want to start live streaming again on a regular basis. Since I haven't had to go through another period of like early access, I don't think I'm going to be super stressed out. So I feel like another big rant isn't going to happen, because I don't want to do that. Look, guys, I don't like being negative. I would love nothing more than to just sit here and sing praises of this game and Creative Assembly. Hallelujah, the game's great. Praise Creative Assembly. I wish I could do that. But unfortunately, just going to be perfectly honest, that's just not the reality of things. Creative Assembly done fucked up. They're asleep at the wheel. These these changes here are too little too late. They're good. They're good changes. They should have been here 2 months ago, basically. And I just don't know what else to do about it, because everything is just moving so damn slow. And I do worry about the future of this game. I think the longer the stuff takes to get to where it needs to be, the worse off things will be in the long run. Whereas if they nip this in the bud before launch, we could have maintained more of the more of the players. And I think that would have been better for the game overall, because I'm very heavily invested in the future of Total Warhammer 3. It's not just simply a case of, oh yeah, I like the game, so fuck everyone else. That's really narrow-minded, because you got to keep in mind what Creative Assembly do on games that people don't play. They abandon them. Look what happened to Troy. Look what happened to especially Three Kingdoms. Do you guys want a video to come out in the next few months? The future of Total War Warhammer. Well, guys, we have now completed our projected content for Total War Warhammer with the inclusion of the Blood Plaque and Mortal Empires. We will now be moving into our next project, Total War Warhammer 40k, or whatever it is that they're doing next, you know. Imagine if that... I don't think that's going to happen, but do you remember the outcry from people that from the Three Kingdoms community? And the funny thing is, the Warhammer 2 community was just like, nah, it's not gonna happen to us. Well, shit, man, that's a real possibility now. Okay, Creative Assembly need to get this shit together, or else this game may not have a future. I don't think that'll happen, but I do worry about that because the numbers are very concerning. Anyway, that's the end of this one here, guys. I hope you guys have been enjoying the videos lately. I really have been enjoying making like the disaster battles and the Doomstack videos. The fact that I don't have to deal with the Realm of Chaos with that has made playing the game very enjoyable. I actually quite like making the disaster battles. So I've been able to do a few more that didn't intend on releasing videos for, just because I do enjoy it, and that way I get a few more people's disasters, you know, because sometimes people send in disasters, quite frankly, just too easy, right? It's not worth making a video on it, so I get a couple of those done just to help a couple of people out and just don't make a video on it. But anyway, so I do appreciate people sending in your disaster battles. I definitely want to keep that going regardless of what happens with this patch. I intend to come back to live streaming fairly soon. I hope you guys are well. I appreciate you, appreciate all the support, and I really hope that we kind of get Creative Assembly moving on the bus and we just move forward, because I want to be singing praises. I really, really want to, but I can't yet. Anyway, that's the end of this one. Appreciate you guys, and I'll see you next time, fuckers. Bye.